Hello, everyone. Kerry Daigle. This is Keep Punching University every Monday night. This has been going on for, I guess, somewhere around 35, 36 years. Not Zoom, but the calls have been going on for a long time. And since we switched over to Zoom, we've really been attracting people from all over the world. Now, this call is primarily was done for North America, Mexico, Canada, and the United States. But a lot of Europeans join in, and then a lot of Australians and people from New Zealand. So everybody kind of joins in, and that's okay. It's here for all of you. But our information tonight's going to be very interesting because we have a young lady who's the CMO, Chief, what does that stand for? Marketing Officer, Gina Ghura. And from Luminate to superfoods to superbiome, Juice Plus products are evolving fast, and so is the company. Now, we're going behind the scenes with Gina Ghura. I call her the marketing mind that's shaping our future with the Juice Plus company. Without any question, she is a marvel. Some of the things that I've learned in the last week, alone last 2 weeks, and since Gina started, are mind-boggling. I see things that are going to happen in the future with this company in the next 24 months that I feel are going to set records that we have never, ever seen before. So hopefully, I'm hoping and praying that all of you are taking notes and paying close attention. So Gina, if you're ready, I'd like to kick this off.
I'm ready.
Well, Gina, welcome. Thank you for coming on tonight. We do appreciate it. We know you're in Florida by way of Europe, of course. Now, you've worked with some of the world's top consumer brands, Gina. What drew you to Juice Plus, and what excites you the most about the future?
Well, thank you, Kerry, firstly, for inviting me, Kerry and Mickey. Appreciate you allowing me to be here. And thank you, everyone, for joining. I didn't know if anyone would come and listen to me. So it's great that you're here and from so many different places. That's a great question. So there are lots of reasons that I was excited to join Juice Plus. Firstly, incredible product that just had so much potential when you saw what it is, the science, the testimonials. But I think, for anyone who's in sales and marketing, the holy grail really is when you can do something with a purpose. And what really struck me about Juice Plus was, you're not just selling product here, you're actually doing something that's good for the world. Because actually, if we are successful in marketing Juice Plus, then everybody benefits. People get healthier. And that's our whole mission, right? But it's also the channel is really important. I am so inspired about helping entrepreneurs create and empowering people to live their own life in their own way. And have that empowerment to have their own business. So there was such a strong purpose with Juice Plus that I was really excited to join for the product, the purpose, the people, and the potential really that Juice Plus had.
Well, we've really caught your vision since you started with us and what you see happening. I know you've worked with a lot of really large companies such as Avon, for example, and The Body Shop and Boots and Tony and Guy. So you work with quite a few large companies as far as helping brand who they are and helping them move into that higher echelon of sales. Um, our company, the Juice Plus company, Gina, is now 50 years old. How are we positioning Juice Plus for the next 50 years? I know I'm kind of hitting you with some questions head on and spot, but I would like you to deliver your thoughts to this audience, if you don't mind.
No, absolutely. I mean, I think this whole category is something that is growing so fast and becoming so entrenched in what consumers are looking for. And really, Juice Plus was a pioneer back in the day. When these capsules were first launched, nobody was in this space. And I think that now, you're seeing so many other companies come into this because this is something that customers want. But we have the original product. So I think for me, the job is easy because actually being a pioneer in this industry, in this category, means you've already got a head start for against everybody else. I was mentioning to Kerry before we joined, we've got a press event coming this week. When I did our first press event for Juice Plus back in New York for Superfood, the press, who are the most cynical of, people out there because they see everything, they test everything, they read about everything, they're really testing you. And they loved what we had to say about Juice Plus because we have been around for, decades. These new companies that come in, they don't have our legacy, they don't have our proof, they don't have our science. So that was something that they felt really, really good about. We have something unique and special because our capsules is a nutritional supplement and not a supplement, and that stands us as a differentiated and much purer and much better proposition than what other people have. They love the fact that we had all these clinical studies, that we were, selected for an NIH study. They loved the data around the bioavailability and they loved the whole buzzword around polyphenols. So we already have such an amazing, foundation to build off of. So the future just looks like building on that pioneering start, right? Which is you have a responsibility when you're a pioneer in a category. And we have to continue to do that as we think about how this category evolves, how new products come to the market. We have to be first before people even know that they need it. And we can do that because we have all of you and we are always talking to you and we're understanding and you're telling us, what it is that people may be looking for. And then we support it with unprecedented amount of science and testing and research. And, we have the best healthcare professionals looking to help us. So anything that we launch is fully supported in a way that other products or competitors can't do.
Well, one thing that really has caught my attention a lot, Gina, is most of the people that know me know that I come from a promotional background. And we actually built teams of people and an audience in the millions by utilizing press conferences and media releases and dealing with the media, which is something you're doing that Juice Plus has never done before. But yet we built this company into billions of dollars in sales with our product line. So I see us growing at a rapid, rapid, rapid pace because of what you're doing right now by spreading the word in the media. And for everyone that's listening in, I want you to know this. What Gina is doing is something that we have never, ever done. And this is going to escalate our business, our product line, to places that you've never seen before. If you've been in the business 5 years, 10 years, 20 or 30 years, or if you're just getting started, I urge you, pay close attention, talk to people every day, let them know about the product line, and let them know about this business. Now, Gina, you've led what I call a global rebrand since joining. Global rebrand. How would you describe the new look, the tone, and the energy of the Juice Plus product line?
So I would describe it as being something that feels very modern, very contemporary, very distinctive. A lot of branding out there tends to be quite green. It looks all the same. I really wanted to make sure our branding encompassed, what we were already, but take it to the next level. We also, we wanted to make it feel more natural. We know that our brand and our product and our proposition is all around being the most natural, the most healthy proposition. So we took, for example, the, red, purple, green, and just really tried to make it feel more natural and authentic as you would see those colors in real life. So you know that flat colors don't exist in nature. When you look at an apple or a carrot, there's always different shades of light or color depending on where it's sitting, etc. So that's where the gradient comes in, where it's really trying to make it feel exactly how it was, but something that feels more modern, more contemporary, distinctive. And I think it's really built for the new world, right? You talk about these meetings have now evolved to Zoom. Branding has now evolved to social. branding is in real life when you're talking to your customers, but it's also on social media and digital platforms. And the way that consumers consume media is even faster than they used to consume the product shelf. They're moving so quickly, you've got to beat that scroll. And you have to do that in a way that feels like it's eye-catching and it's distinctive and it builds memory structure. So we're trying to find something, a system with our branding that feels like it can stop the scroll because you want to see what it's about because it's bright and it's, vibrant. But then we continue to do that so that, when you sort of see in your peripheral vision, oh, that must be a post about Juice Plus. Um, so the branding has been, an amazing exercise, but we have a lot to do. So we've created what the branding vision is, but now we've really got to make sure that every single part of the Juice Plus world hits the new branding. Whether your emails have the new logos, all the packaging is the same and consistent. So there's still quite a lot of work to be done, but it should be done within the next 6 months.
A lot of revamping, and we applaud you for that. Gina, what are the biggest changes you see coming in? How marketing will be done, both for corporate and for field partners?
I think the big responsibility now that we've created the canvas and the foundations of what we want the marketing to be, our job really now is to create world-class marketing materials so that you guys can be the marketing guru for your teams. So how can we simplify what we do? How can we package it up in a way so that you have a whole toolkit of exactly how you want to market your products? You have all the materials that you need, all the ads, videos, collateral so that you can be successful in, training your teams, educating your teams, but also being able to capture customers and prospective partners into your business.
Now, you're coming in, you've only been with us, I think, a little less than a year. And
Year and a half now, but time flies when you're having fun.
how, how much time have you been with us?
It's 18 months this month, actually, so a year and a half.
Okay. So 18 months, I see things that you're doing that it's taken us many years to even get close to doing. And that's why I'm excited about what your plans are. I received, Gina, all kind of questions to be able to ask you tonight. It's impossible for me to get every one of them. So I kind of summarized a lot of them, and some of them are pretty direct, such as the next one. So I'm gonna hit you with this next one
I'm
that
ready.
came from the audience. And it's how can every partner or distributor, whatever you want to call them, become their own marketer using today's tools, social media, short videos, reels, storytelling. What is marketing doing to have recruiting material for the field?
No, great question. So we are always building new assets. So particularly on recruitment, we are going to be developing a recruitment video that you can share and across all of your platforms. We utilize boards extensively, so we are releasing a ton of material that will be on there, training around products. We're trying to use more intuitive tools like ChatGPT, you would have seen with Superbiome, so that, we're trying to demystify any complexities and make things really easy for partners so that it's at your fingertips. We truly understand that, for a lot of people, this is a side hustle. You don't want to have to work too hard to try and figure things out. You've all got families, full lives, things to do. So how can we kind of automate and do the hard work for you so that it's all there for you to leverage and use it as you need? We are, I think, a very collaborative marketing team. So we work very closely with our sales partners. I always try and work really closely with the field as well. We have a global leadership advisory group. We also jump in with the sales team on their advisory group to really make sure that we're getting feedback. So a good example is we did the partner stories which were for recruiting, which, people love. They're kind of emotional and it shows the heart of our brand, but it's not specific enough. We need something more direct. So now we're now creating a new recruitment video that will really help. The second thing we hear all the time is that, our clinical studies and our research is what really differentiates us from the rest of the competition. But I don't have a PhD and I don't know how to explain all of these studies to everybody. And how do I convey how amazing all this is to customers and partners? So we are working really hard to make sure that we can do a couple of things. We've released hundreds of videos on YouTube where you can see bite-sized videos from our healthcare professionals that really start to talk about the benefits of our clinical studies, whether it's oxidative stress, cardiovascular health, inflammation, etc. So it's really easy to share, easy to watch, and very digestible, no pun intended. The other thing that we're doing is every month we're going to be almost creating a series on our clinical studies where it feels relevant. So, for example, immunity is something that's highly relevant now as the weather changes. We're going to be packaging up our clinical studies to specifically talk about immunity. Then we try and make cute little references, like in December, this may not be technically correct, but you create a suggestion like, do you find yourself eating more carbs in December because you kind of want to feel warm and comforted? Well, don't forget to have your fruit, vegetables, and berries. And by the way, we've made it really easy for you because blah, 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 and then a cute little clinical study to attach yourself to it. So we're finding those really relevant ways of sharing our clinical studies that feel like they're memorable, easy to share, digestible. We don't want to give you 48 clinical studies in one hit. We're also improving how it shows up on the website. So again, it's very illustrative in terms of what the benefits are that are proven by the clinical studies. So it's a slow build, but the ambition is big and high. We know what's important for you, and we're trying to get under the skin of that so we can, help you be successful and do the hard work for you.
Well, I hope everyone's really paying attention because what I'm hearing here, what Gina is bringing to us is something that's very simple. We have no competition. If you listen very carefully to everything Gina said, we have no competition. And what Gina is doing is making her mark in marketing to prove to everyone, not only across the United States, but across the globe, that we are the product. We have the research. We've been around longer. We are it. Everyone else is following us. So many people also, Gina, this is something that's a little different, maybe as far as a question, struggle with what to post. What three, how about three simple suggestions or strategies can our partners use to build authentic engagement online?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. Well, the first thing I would say is share your own personal stories and testimonials about the product. You are the most powerful, you know, um, influencer out there to your friends and family on your social media channels, right? They follow you for a reason because they trust you. So definitely sharing your own personal experience, why you love the product, what the product's done for you will be hugely authentic and, engaging. The second thing is we're trying to create a content factory, quite honestly. So if you're not following us right now, you need to follow Juice Plus on Facebook, Instagram, because now we create all this content that you can just share. You don't need to be a social media expert. We will do all the hard work for you. And we do a real mix of things. We share reviews and testimonials, which are really powerful. We share videos, short videos around product information, product illustration. We create facts, so we'll break down things like what is polyphenols. So we are building so much content. If you miss anything, it's okay because it's kind of you can still go onto the page and like find all the materials that we've developed. If you miss anything as well, we also store it on boards. So feel free to, just download and share. I think the third really important thing is as we, meet with the press and they learn more about our product, hopefully you've seen some really powerful endorsements that we've had with the Daily Mail, New Beauty. That's something that we also create into a social media asset that we put on our pages. And that's a great thing to share on your social media platforms because it's that third party credibility. It's not you saying it on your own. It's somebody else also saying that this is an incredible product or for whatever reason. So that's another good thing to post.
Wow, very good. Great information. In 1993, when Juice Plus came out, Gina, of course, it was so different from what we had. We were in the environmental products industry and also the educational industry. For a lot of people not aware of that. It was a big change for us. For 2 years, 2.5 years, we struggled trying to figure out what to do. And the rest is history. We became number one in the world. So the recent launches that you're a big part of, Luminate, Superfood, and Superbiome, have created a big new buzz. Now, what do these products represent about where the company is headed?
Yeah, so I think, these products really represent what consumers are looking for. So, we're all about being plant-powered, nutrition, science, and then we're looking and combining that with what consumers want. And consumers really think of health holistically. They want to feel good, be good, look good. It's emotional, it's physical, it's mental. So we, are creating an architecture of product that really helps to address all of those things. So Luminate, is really taking that kind of mental clarity and energy that people are looking for because we also want to sync up our products in line with how consumers are evolving. So in a world that is becoming increasingly more complex, we have Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, WhatsApp, the phone, email, multiple email accounts. People's lives have never been so complicated. So something like, Luminate is so critically important. Every single body needs this, right? Whether you're a busy mom, someone who goes to work every day, kids who are gaming, it has so many different applications for so many different people. Superfood was, you know, an innovation that really came out of building on what we had, which was this incredible pioneering technology in our capsules. And if you think about amazing brands like Apple or Dyson, when you've got something unique, you try and put it in as many applications as possible so that you can reach the most amount of people. And we know that with capsules, we heard people say, it's a lot to take 6 or 8 in one go. I'm getting older. I can't, I find it difficult to swallow. Um, I forget to take it. That's was something that we hear a lot because there's so many of them. So putting it into a powder was really helping to make it easier for people to consume. And again, in line with how people are behaving. So we know we call the Yeti and the Stanley, right, is now the new handbag that everybody's always understands that they need to stay hydrated. So how do you hack an existing habit so that we're getting more of our fruit, vegetables, and berries into more hands? And now you can swallow, chew, or drink. There's no excuses, right? Everyone should be on their fruit, veg, and berry. And then Super Biome was, I think the cherry on the cake because we know that this was if we want to be known for nutrition, nutrition starts in the gut. So to not have a product in the portfolio that would help address this was a real, opportunity for us. It was seen as the number one, need from both customers and partners when we did our survey. But it's important that if we launch a new product, we have to do it in the Juice Plus way, right? Which is you can't do the same as everybody else because what's the point? You have to make sure you're addressing a real customer need, and you have to make sure you're delivering against a scientific breakthrough. So ours was all around, actually probiotics don't work on their own. So we created the two-phase system of the pre and the pro so that we were truly creating a product that worked.
let's step into a
Oh,
comment you made.
Harry, can I just say one more thing?
Sure.
I also want to just reassure that, we're not going to be an innovation factory. At the end of the day, it's got to be really intentional about when we bring in new products. It has to make sense. It has to be something that customers want. It has to be something that complements the portfolio. Um, and it has to feel unique and different and feature a scientific breakthrough. That doesn't come along every day. So expect that we probably won't be doing, as much innovation as we have been doing. We've been plugging some critical gaps, but we still have a lot to do with the products that we've got. Luminate is an incredible product, but we're only really scratching the surface. If you think about, what that product delivers and how other brands have made them like mass consumption, there's a huge opportunity with Luminate, because nobody else has this clean, green, good for you, sustained energy. Superfood as well. Superfood has done amazing since we launched, but it's about the size of Complete. Still got a way to go. Imagine if we had our capsules business the same size as our superfood business. And Superbiome's a baby. It's not even been 2 months yet. So again, it was our most successful launch. You guys did absolutely awesome. But that has so much potential, particularly as it delivers again something that 2 out of 3 people need, but don't like what they have.
You answered a question that I just was writing down. So that's
Oh,
a perfect timing. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. You also, just a few minutes ago, you kind of stepped into a comment about the studies and about the research. So, how can we, as field leaders, the people that are listening in right now, tell the story of our science-backed research, over 50 double-blind studies, gold standard, in a way that inspires trust, but yet inspires curiosity without sounding technical, maybe at a 10th grade level? Do you have plans to give marketing tools to the field to add vision and validity of our science? I know we talked about it, but maybe
yeah.
you could elaborate on that a little bit.
Yeah, I think, the science has got to be at the forefront because, that is something that everybody has told us is our differentiator. And a lot of brands say that they have science, but they don't really have the science. And, I think I mentioned it, but there will be a number of different ways in which we will help to simplify this and make it easy to share through the YouTube series, through our healthcare professionals. The website as well is going to get a massive upgrade in terms of how we talk about our science. We will create materials that will help. We are actually working on something that should go out in every shipped order. So again, you don't have to do all the hard work. We're going to do it for you. So any new customer that buys um, any of our products will get a brief synopsis around what our science is, what it says, and why you can feel confident about the purchase that you've made. We will be doing our social media series where we will talk about the clinical studies every single month. So there will be lots of different places. We will also create, we're currently working with healthcare professionals at the moment to create a one-stop shop presentation on our clinical studies so that it's easy for people to share. And we know that actually some things that we did before were just so simple and easy, but really work, which is I just want to play a video. If I have an event, I just want to play a video so that people can hear and see it from somebody else that's maybe credible in being able to explain it. So I don't have to have that PhD and memorize all studies so that I can quote them at any given notice.
Wow. Well, I don't know about everyone else that's listening in, but I'm getting so excited about just hearing everything that you're bringing up because I just remember us, Mickey and I, building our business without the studies. I mean, it was banging, man. It was going all over. It was really rolling. And right now, what you're preparing us for is just something that there's nothing like it in the field that we're in. It's incredible. So what can we expect, Gina, next in terms of, let's say, product storytelling?
So that should be happening all day, every day. And we typically do it through social. We are trying, we create a calendar of content where we try and feature a product when it makes sense and start to do storytelling because we're trying to be in line with how consumers are thinking. So, like I mentioned, if people are heightened around searching for immunity and around this time of year, we'll start to bring in product storytelling that helps to complement that. So, social is really the place where you can find a lot of that kind of storytelling and assets um, that you can share with a click of a button on your own social media channels.
Well, all of you listening in, I want to be able to let you know this too. Gina is from Europe. She now lives in Florida, which means that she's working right here in the United States, although she's traveling across the world for our company. So she understands North America as well as she understands Europe. So we're very fortunate to be able to have her and the things that she's doing. I'm going to rewind a little bit, Gina, for the listeners tonight, because I think this is really important, especially where you're coming from and the position you're holding. You're a founding member of an organization called Chief, which is an organization empowering women executives. Now, how does that philosophy of empowerment influence how you lead at Juice Plus from a marketing perspective? Because you still are marketing and selling the fact that everyone is a prospect, not just women executives. Would you mind sharing your thoughts there from your marketing background?
Yeah, no, I'd love to. So, I mean, I think I mentioned this at the beginning. It's the idea of empowering people to live the life that they want to live, right? And I think that being an entrepreneur is so freeing because that's exactly what you're able to do. And it's so relevant across so many different groups. Whether you're a Gen Zer and you're at college, you may need a side hustle because let me tell you, as a European in America, education's kind of expensive over here. So definitely those kids need some help, right? And what better way to learn about real life than starting your own business and how credible that makes them look for their future, employment to have that real life experience. And it's really hard to get a job, particularly as a Gen Zer, right? Because people are like, well, you've got no experience. So you get the whole holistic experience by running a Juice Plus business if you're a Gen Z. I always talk about our millennial mamas because, a lot of people come into this when they're thinking about, you know what, I don't maybe want to work a corporate job and I want to stay at home and be with the family more. But I still don't want to give up, my own independence. And I don't, I still think I need something for myself. So this is so relevant for them. And plus it's health, right? So, you're starting to be more conscious about health products, so being an advocate of that and being able to sell it as a side hustle. And it makes so much sense with our Healthy Starts program. But, even Gen Xers like myself and boomers, right? Yes, you may want to retire because you don't want to be in the rat race, but, it's hard to just stop and do nothing. And actually you hear so many people who are like, oh, I wish I could do a little bit of something. So this is perfect for them as well, right? A side hustle, because who doesn't need, a little extra moolah for the holiday fund? Um, Maybe I might want to go premium economy business class instead of economy. This is perfect for that, right? So, this is for everybody. The product is for everybody. The opportunity is for everybody.
Now, if you're listening carefully and you're taking notes, and you can hear what Gina brings to the table besides her marketing expertise and branding, she understands about recruiting. She's a marketing whiz. If you just heard what she said just now and you start thinking a minute, of course, I don't want to put any pressure on Gina, but I'm thinking, wow, what kind of message could she give to an audience about how to build a business in Juice Plus when you think about it, because She's worked with women executives across the board, across the country, and across the world. That's her background. So she brings a lot to the table. So I might put a little pressure on her. For those of you that are listening in, might bring Gina back on to maybe go into some of her other gifts so that she can share those gifts with us, because she's just absolutely a genius at all of it. In closing, let me ask you this. What message, Gina, do you have for field leaders? And when I say leaders, I mean sales coordinator on up, who want to step up their leadership and personal brand in this new era?
Well, first of all, Kerry, thank you. I think I need you as my publicist because you say the nicest things. I'm so grateful, and I'm sure I don't deserve it, but thank you so much. I would say that, it can be really, I think, overwhelming sometimes if we overthink what this is. And actually, it should be so easy in a way because of the product that we sell and the way that we sell it. So I would just encourage everyone to just tell people what you do. Have you ever spoken to your neighbor about what you do and what you sell and what you share? And don't be afraid to have that conversation with everyone, because you never know what that could lead to, whether it's a prospective partner, whether it's a prospective customer. I think, this is something that feels so relevant to so many people, and it's a good thing because anyone who's part of this is only benefiting themselves, whether they're taking the product or whether they decide to be a partner and have something that, gives them that side hustle.
Well, for everyone that's listening in, Mickey, if you don't mind, if you want to take the recording off, we appreciate you, Gina. We're gonna now take all the mutes off, where you can unmute yourself in just a second here.